Here we are. Yeah, here we are. We are live. And hello, everybody. Welcome back to ODE Mastery, Online Digital Education, Facebook community of teachers, collaborating with teachers, to ascend the value ladder. My name is Gabriel. And today we're going to be interviewing Digi.
Yeah,
Digi is a digital marketing strategies using Facebook. He is a strategist coming to us from Nigeria, and
absolutely.
he is with Fly My Ads. And today's subject, digital marketing strategies using Facebook. And this is for all you guys, all you teachers who need this kind of, understanding, greater understanding. And this is why we have Digi here today, because he's going to provide you guys with an amazing amount of information that I hope you feel confident in promoting your own digital, self, your own marketing, self, because this is important. So let's talk about Digi here for a second. He is a digital native. He has 9 years experience working with WordPress and building websites. He is also highly certified as a digital marketing professional. He has 5 different certifications with Facebook, as well as Google Ads certifications. Now, if you want to see his certifications, all right, just ask for the links, okay? Hashtag live, hashtag replay, ask for the link down below, and he's going to provide you proof of that, because we don't bring anybody on board and we don't talk to anybody unless they're for real. Digi is for real. He is also one of very few. Now, check this out. He is one of less than 30 certified Facebook lead trainers in all of Africa. That's the whole continent. Not Nigeria, the whole continent. He possesses profound knowledge about Facebook ads, as well as the Facebook family of apps and services. So everybody, welcome Digi. What's up, man? Welcome to the family here, my friend. Okay, you are muted. I cannot hear you. There you are.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Oh, you're welcome. I try to provide weekly, interviews, calls, conversations, for my teacher community, because, we're in the 21st century, which is not new. We're 20 years into it. And right now, because of COVID-19, we have a lot of people, not just educators or teachers like myself, but everybody is running to the internet to try to learn how to work on the internet.
Absolutely.
And it's 20 years after, and now people are stressing about that. And, I've been doing it since 1998. You've been doing it for at least a decade. You understand these things. But a lot of new people coming into the 21st century and COVID-19, they're panicking because they don't know how to make that transition, how to make it safely. And, it's good to have a professional, somebody like yourself, who's been doing it. Do you prefer to be working like with Facebook, or are you like basically all over the place on the internet? What is your discipline? What is your fascination?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Gabriel. To answer that question, I think usually the task at hand would determine the tool to use, right? A lot of times, what you see in the market is that there are lots of small businesses who need help with digital platforms, and the most effective platforms for small businesses are usually Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Because it's just small business centric. It's really built around what small businesses can do. You can start with a very small budget. I mean, sometime last year, I even started something called $1 a day campaign, where
Nice.
I helped the small businesses to understand that, hey, you don't need so much money. Start with $1 a day and run your ads for 30 days and see where you get to, right? For some other types of businesses or some other types of campaigns, you would realize that Facebook and Instagram are not the platform to use. So for instance, it could be Google search, or it could be search engine optimization if you want to do more long term, and then sometimes you realize that, okay, I think we need to go on LinkedIn to be able to drive the advertising campaigns for these other businesses. So the platform the business at hand, the task at hand, usually would determine the platform to use.
Sure. Well, and again, those are things that a lot of people, let's call it the common teacher, the regular laborer, business, brick and mortar business person. A lot of people have avoided wanting to create a website. And if they have a website, they don't really nurture it. They don't really keep it updated. And now it's become obvious, if anything, that you can actually earn a living. You can actually transition your business on the internet and still maintain profitability if you learn how to do these little things. But that's having to learn now new things, and that kind of delays the point of wanting to run your business. A lot of business owners, they don't want to have to learn something new now.
Yeah.
They're profitable. Yeah. So like I tell a lot of people in my community, it's not what you know or how you know, it's who you know now. And it's good to have a collaboration of people like yourself so that when they come to that question, it's like, who do I know that can help me, get over this obstacle? I could say, you could talk to Digi. Digi, he's your Facebook guy. I mean, he's your ads guy. He's going to help you $1 a day campaign, which I think is pretty cool. Maybe we could work on a campaign for teachers.
Absolutely.
We can do $1 a day teacher campaign to help
and
them
basically
forward.
walk through step by step, the thinking behind the ad, the strategy of, making sure you can get your ads to the right people, and then using the right language. I mean, advertising is both a science and an art, no matter how you look at it, you have to be able to be persuasive. You have to be able to bring out the most important thing that people want to hear. At the same time, there's some very technical bits, to advertising as well. So it's a mixture of both science and art. So this is one of the challenges people have, and people just want to run away from the entire thing because it's two different worlds coming together.
It is. It is. The conversions is a little nerve-wracking and stressful for a lot of people.
It is.
Traditional marketing involves reaching out to locally targeted audiences, producing physical marketing materials, relying on traditional delivery channels, in-person marketing events. What makes digital marketing different from the traditional marketing?
So I'd say the very first obvious difference between digital marketing and traditional marketing methods is the measurability. You can measure every single thing. Okay, so imagine you put up an ad on a billboard, or you put up an ad on a physical flyer, and you go distribute it. It's very difficult for you to attribute how many people came from your your billboard, or from your flyer, your physical flyer, or say, for instance, an advert on the radio. I mean, it's so difficult for you to be able to match and say, based on this advert, I got XYZ number of sales. On digital platforms, however, every single thing is measurable. So if, for instance, you were to run $1 a day campaign, and you're trying to drive traffic, say, to your website or to your Facebook page or whatever, you can see how much it's costing for each of those activities. So if you're performing better, or if you need to, increase or change some things. And that's another advantage of digital platforms. You can move and change your adverts as it goes, right? On the traditional platforms, once you've printed the physical flyer, once the advert has gone to radio, once it's on TV, it's very difficult to change, right? But on digital platforms, easy. Okay, if this ad is not performing, we can pause it. We can get another graphic in there. We can change the copy. It's easy. You can change it on the go, right? Another thing is the costs. As far as cost is concerned, digital marketing platforms are cheap. The minimum of most platforms is $1 a day, unless on LinkedIn, where the minimum is $10 per day, right? Compare that to what you would get on traditional platforms. You have to break the bank, So I think the most important thing, again, is that it's accessible to almost everybody. Once you have a smartphone, it's accessible to you. Unlike traditional methods where, I mean, it's so many moving parts. You have to go to radio, go to print, go, But once you have a phone, you can kick off an advert in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You talk about it being inexpensive, cheap,
Mm.
and one of the things that I advocate a lot, because everybody's hurting for money right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is let's do things organically. Now, I provide a lot of free resources, and I'm going to say quality resources, so that anybody, if you want to do your own advertising, you can do it. You can do it for zero, like Canva. You're familiar with Canva?
Yeah, absolutely.
I use Canva a lot because, quite frankly, I've learned how to tweak it and do little things by modeling other successful ads.
Yeah.
And Canva gives you a lot for free. So not even $1 a day, less money,
Yeah.
zero money, you can do your own stuff. And maybe that extra $1 would be helpful for that person who's going to give you that final push, which makes a lot of sense in terms of collaboration. But it's all about content, right? I mean, you want to put out something that, like you said, persuasive. And, you got two types of marketing, or you got content marketing, which is the practice of creating that content, to use for digital marketing. And then you have content strategy, which includes the planning, the implementation of all the high value, rich digital content. What do you see as the difference between content marketing and content strategy? And can you give my community of teachers some examples of each?
Okay. So that's a really, really interesting question. Strategy. I mean, it's a series of things, how you want to do something, right? So strategy, because I have some notes here. I just want to go over some of those notes. So you basically arrive at your strategy by asking yourself a few questions, right? So as a teacher right here listening right now, because you want to think about creating your own platform and creating your own online business, the first thing you need to start from is your customer. Who's your potential customer? So that's the first question you're going to ask strategy for your business, right? So the first question is, who is my potential customer? Write that down. Be as specific as possible. Are they parents living with kids? At what age range? Where do they live? What platforms can I find them? You have to be as specific as possible, right? And the second question you're going to ask yourself is, okay, what problems do these people have that I can solve with my knowledge? Right. Because we're trying to fashion out your strategy. You need questions and you need some answers to those questions. Now, the second question is, what problem can you solve for these people who are your potential customers that you can solve with the knowledge that you have? So as a teacher, say for instance, you're a biology teacher. As a biology teacher, you can actually teach their kids biology, right? That's the problem that you can solve for them. So you're looking for parents who have kids who are studying biology, right?
Yes.
Now, a third question you could ask yourself is, on what platforms will I find some of these customers? And it's interesting here because even though the kids are the customers per se, but it's the parents who pay, right?
Exactly.
So sometimes you really have to understand. I mean, the customer is who is paying for the service, even though the kids are the ones who are the beneficiaries, right? So the question here is, what platforms can you find these parents?
Facebook.
Are they on Facebook or are they on Instagram? I mean, the answers are very clear, And the fact is, of course, you have parents on LinkedIn, but guess what? On LinkedIn, they're not attuned to that kind of message. And it's very important for you to be able to differentiate these platforms and what they're very good for. And the final question you could ask yourself is, okay, what kind of content format do you think will grab the attention of these parents? Okay, with those questions, you've been able to come up with a framework that could actually help you to then start content marketing. Because without the strategy, the marketing cannot work. I mean, content marketing is what you do after you have formulated your strategy, right? So it's as simple as that. But you have to ask yourself these simple questions so that you're able to give yourself the answers to be able to proceed further. I hope that has been able to clarify or share a very practical example for
It does.
listeners.
It does fully because I provide digital assets to my community as well as
Yeah.
a free workshop that explains that in more detail.
Mm.
And one of the things that I advocate a lot is how to generate your students, how to attract them. So attraction marketing has a lot to do with that, right?
Yeah.
Being your own attractive character. But I indicate how to go to these or find the groups where they congregate at, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the students or the parents, like you
Or the
said, because
parents.
the
Mm-hmm.
parents actually pay the bills. So you want to attract the parents as well,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to go to those groups and contribute something meaningful or say something that everybody says, oh, who is that? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a biology teacher. That was pretty cool what he
Mm-hmm.
said or she said.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find out who they are. And they do that. They look at your profile, they go back to your
Exactly.
page, and they're like, wow, this
Mm-hmm.
person is a teacher, biology. They got a cool profile,
Mm-hmm.
they got interesting content, videos. I want to friend this person because I
Yeah.
can benefit from that. And that's how you organically or free of charge, you start to
Attract.
generate students and parents and attract them. So everything that you said is exactly what I do and try to tell my community in detail because it's part of the hard work. You can either pay for ads and spend a lot of money to attract, or you can
Mm-hmm.
do it the slow, profitable way, which I like to do, which is actually build a relationship with people, actually talk to
Yeah.
them, find out what's on their mind,
Mm.
and don't try to sell them. Be original. Bring them back to your place,
Yeah.
and let them see what you do. Let them say, I want to be part of this virtual campus, you know,
Absolutely.
and that strategy is definitely on point. You want to have the strategy first to be able to
Yeah.
do your marketing. I tell them to do it in parallel because as you're building a strategy to attract, new
You start
students
to
or parents,
execute.
you got to have
Mm.
to build your content anyway in
Mm.
parallel because you don't want them to come to your profile and be like, what are you
Nothing is
doing
here.
here? There's nothing here. What
Exactly.
do I do? Exactly.
Mhm.
So let's talk about, you do WordPress. You've done a lot of websites. I've done WordPress. I've done Wix. Prior to that, I've done, I don't even remember the names of the web builders from back then.
Yeah.
But I've gotten into the funnel system because I've done the blogging, I've done the e-commerce thing, but all of a sudden, the sales funnel seems to be like the big thing for the last 5 years. And a sales funnel is a digital marketing model where you guide your potential customer and you lead them through a series of events,
Hmm.
or actions so that they can be mapped out in the shape of a funnel. So
Absolutely.
the widest part of the top of the funnel is your awareness stage. The middle part is your evaluation stage, and then the bottom is where you convert them into your customers.
Absolutely.
What is a sales funnel, or why is a sales funnel important to digital marketing? Let's say for the next 30 years. No, your microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I think sales funnels have always been important. They've always been, I mean, they've always existed. It's
Right.
just that now we are beginning to study them and really study them, really, really intently. So um, the easy way to understand what a sales funnel is that it's a customer journey, right? There's
Yes.
always going to be a journey between when a customer becomes aware of your product or service until when they buy. So um, for some customers, that customer journey is maybe 2 days. For some customers, it might be 2 months,
Yeah.
right? So the important thing is to understand that there's always going to be a customer journey. Another thing to understand is that going into the future, marketing is going to be more and more technological. It's going to be more and more dependent on social platforms and machine learning and artificial intelligence and all of that. So having a very good idea where your customers are coming from, what channels they're coming from, what things they need to do before they become convinced, help you understand your sales funnel and how you can build it. Now, it might look really complex, but it's not really complex, right? So let me use an example here. It's one of the things I like to share anytime I'm basically just sharing knowledge, is that um, customers only, I mean, potential customers only become customers at the end of what I call the KLT journey. They must know you first of all, then they like you, and then they trust you. People
Yeah.
only buy they only buy when they trust,
Right.
right? It's as simple as that. If you think back to all of the transactions that you've had, the only reason you give your money is because you trust. Okay,
Trust.
so which means as a teacher right now, your job is to earn that trust. And how can you earn that trust? You have to showcase your skills. You have to show what you know. You have to share knowledge. You have to become that thought leader in that space. You basically
Right.
just have to give all what you know. And that's how you build trust. When you build trust, you then are able to get customers to buy. And like Gabriel just mentioned, it's a funnel. At the top of the funnel is where everybody is. And then some people out of everybody, they see your content and they're like, oh, I like this. They want to, yeah. So they want to interact. They want to ask you a question. They want to send you a message. That person has moved from the top of the funnel to the middle of the funnel where they're interacting, they're interested, they're engaging with you. Okay. And if they like what they hear, if they like what they see, they eventually say, you know what? I love what I hear. Here's my money. Give me the service. That's exactly what the sales funnel is. It's just a fancy word that we call it in digital marketing. It's the customer journey. How do you take them from awareness to liking you and to trusting you? Because transactions don't happen until people trust. It's as
Right.
simple as that. So whatever funnels, whatever systems you're going to be able to put in place to help people drive that trust factor, then you have to think about it going into the future.
Right. Well said. KLT is the first time I'm listening to that acronym, but it makes sense. Know you, like you, trust you.
Absolutely.
I'm not a young guy. All right, I'm 55. I'm 55 years old. Although I look like I'm 35, I'm going to say 35.
Yeah.
But like before the internet, because I was born before the internet was
Yeah.
available for anybody,
I
right?
can imagine that.
The sales process back in my young days was no different than what it is now in the digital era. It's the same
Hmm.
awareness, evaluation, conversion technique. And
Absolutely.
one of the first jobs that I ever had when I was growing up was as a car salesman. Whoa, whoa, that's a tough way to go.
Tough job, man.
Because a lot of people don't trust the car salesman. You know, you gotta really be liked and
Also,
in order to be
mm,
trusted. So give you $30,000
mm,
for a car.
yeah.
But I was successful as a young individual. I think that having a lot of integrity in sales is how people get
Mm.
to trust you. You have to.
Again, it comes back to the trust factor. You see,
Yes,
integrity is just that trust factor.
exactly.
Mm,
And that's what gave me. I'm going to say I was successful. I wasn't one of the $1 million, a year car
mm,
salesmen, but I
mm,
was paying my bills, and because of my integrity, that was actually one of the reasons why I was able to sell cars consistently,
mm,
over time, and that's one of the reasons why I had referrals. People would say, "Oh, listen, you sold a car to my neighbor last
yeah.
months ago, half a year ago."
Mm,
And no different than any other not trusted type of career when I was growing up. Lawyers, very not
mm-hmm.
trusted. You know, there's so many others, right? And
Yeah.
knowing that person, liking that person,
Mm,
trusting those people.
mm,
Uh, Once you get the trust, it's only because you earned it,
Yeah.
and you are doing something to maintain that trust.
Maintain that trust.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's something that I tell a lot of people in my community. You know, I wouldn't have my teacher community right now if I didn't have the high ethics and the high integrity to make sure that it's always ethical. Yeah, because the last thing you want in the digital era is to have somebody say, he's a scammer.
No. And
Done.
you see, the internet never forgets.
Never
It
forgets, man.
never forgets. So you have to really be careful, in making sure that you
Yeah,
put out that content and put it out what you
exactly.
know, how you know it. If you, I mean, and this is one of the things that happen a lot. Sometimes you're on a session, someone asks you a question, you don't know the answer. Do not lie. It's okay to not know. I mean, just, hey, I don't know the answer to that question right now. I could check it and get back to you. But don't go saying what you don't know, because someone's going to record it and they're going to play it back for you sometime later and say, hey, he was
Yeah,
lying here.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
very important.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with my high ethics, you know, and I have no reason to want to like BS anybody in my
Mm,
community. It's just not the way things should be done. Plus, I'm
absolutely.
going to be around for the next 100 years, so I might as well be honest now. You know, if you ask me,
Yeah.
are you making $1 million? I'm like, no, I'm not making a million
Mhm.
bucks. So business owners, digital marketers, content creators, they all have, their own hunches, feelings about, what resonates best with an audience, with a customer. But
Mm.
direct feedback from customers is what matters most. What methods would you use to encourage or leverage customer feedback?
Okay, so I'd say just simply ask. This is one
Huh?
of the things that, yeah, it's one of the things that business owners seem to overlook. I mean, first thing you have to to understand is you're in business for your customers. And if
Right.
your customers have something on their minds and there's no channel for them to share what's on their mind, you will start being in business for yourself and your customers start to leave. Okay. You're always going to be in business for your customers. So you need
Right.
to understand what they're thinking. So create all sorts of avenues to just simply ask, what do you guys think? How did we do? After if you do live sessions like this, I mean, it's one of the easiest ways in the comment section. Just ask a question. How do you think we did today? What do you think we could bring next session? You're basically going in the direction that they're leading you. I mean, you're in business for them anyways, right? So I'd say ask in whatever way you can. Also, you can also use customer feedback of customer testimonials. It's a great way to really also showcase in your community
Right.
what you're already offering and how it also help you add the trust factor. So feedback is super important, especially on the internet, because you might have a very great idea as to what you want to do, but your customers, they want to consume the content in a different way, right? And if you're not putting that content in the way that they want to consume it, you just might be losing out some percentage of your customers who would not come back. And the fact is, they wouldn't tell you because you didn't provide the avenue to ask. Okay. Today there are all sorts of I mean, on your page or on your group or whatever, there are even polls. You can
Yeah.
ask a question and make a poll and give some people options, and then people would answer. On Instagram filters, they have polls. You can ask a question there and just try to understand what people are saying, and it really helps you in refining and constantly drive. So maybe I could share an example here. And this example is so big, and sometimes I don't know whether so what I want to talk about is Nokia. Um, like 10 years ago, Nokia was, I mean, in Nigeria, for instance, Nokia was, I mean, if you wanted to buy a phone, you just went to the market to buy a Nokia. There was no other, it was just a phone, because it was really tested, trusted, durable phone,
Yes.
strong battery, everything, you know. But things started to change, but Nokia refused to change. You
Right.
know, people
Right.
started to go, people started to go full screen, touch screen. Every started to think
Right.
about Android. and Nokia refused to change. And
Right.
today we all know what happened. So your
Yeah.
business can be growing. You can be at the top of your business, of your
Yeah.
industry, if you fail to listen to customer feedback.
Right.
Same thing might just happen to you. And it's really important, to have your ear on the ground, hear what is being said, hear what is not being said, and basically just take dressing from there.
That's an excellent point, man. And I remember Nokia. One of my first phones in 2000 was a small Nokia 7400. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
It's just no touch screen. Just make a
Yeah, you
call, get
type.
a
I
call.
mean, I used to love all the physical keypads. You just type
Yeah,
on the
it was
physical
pretty
keypad.
cool. It's like BlackBerry. Yeah, BlackBerry did the
Yeah,
same thing. It's like
same thing happened.
what
Same
happened to
thing
them,
happened
right?
with
They
BlackBerry.
didn't
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah,
So
it's amazing. So yeah, I guess it's a good lesson. And
mm,
creating polls, asking for feedback, wanting
mm,
to hear that honest opinion, and
mm.
adapting or adjusting to what you're being told by your
Absolutely.
customer base.
Yeah,
Will give you longevity, which is true.
absolutely.
Let me ask you one final question here.
Okay.
Everyone is going to work on a project, and everyone ultimately does work on some kind of project that does not go well.
Yeah.
Now, that's okay if it happens. I mean, we all make mistakes, but
Mm,
what's important is how you respond to these failures and learn from them. So it doesn't happen again the next time, or if it happens, it's less
mm.
of a painful experience.
Yeah.
Describe a digital marketing campaign that you worked on, okay, that didn't go as planned.
Mm.
Why did it go wrong, and what did you do? Or how did you
How did I
react to it?
react? Yeah.
How did you
Okay.
react?
So I'm going to answer this in two different ways. Yeah. Um, the first is about some of the digital campaigns that I ran that didn't work out well, and also talk about Fly My Ads, my company, how we initially started it and how it failed, right? So that we really understand. So first thing I want to say to anybody who's listening is that when you start, especially when you want to start running adverts, paid ads, you have to realize that they're going to be little experiments. You have to take them like little experiments. Okay.
Right.
If you don't take them like little experiments, your expectations will be really high. And when they fail, you'll be disappointed really, really bad. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had this campaign with a very fairly medium-sized company. It was a really big company, and it was a very good business deal for us. Um, so they operate in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. So they had a lot of wholesaler. They would buy lots of food products, packaged food products, toiletries, and stuff from wholesalers, and then they would distribute to supermarkets and all of that. So it was a fairly. I mean, from hindsight, now I can say that from hindsight, it was a fairly offline operation,
Mm.
because the supermarkets and all of these people, I mean, they were not really online, they were not selling online, but there
Right.
were lots and lots of them offline. And they had a lot of data about all these supermarkets offline. But they wanted to experiment with online and see how it will grow, So we went in there really hyped up, we got all the digital marketing tools, we got all the custom audiences in there, uploaded everything, and we started to advertise, and zero. Nothing was happening. you know, it just wasn't happening. So this was not a failure of the marketing itself, but it was simply us trying to force a behavior that was non-existent.
Right. Okay.
So again, it's good to know, to be as candid as possible with yourself, to really understand why it failed, so that you can work better next time, and so that you can also be more prepared anytime you want to do that kind of so all of these people we're trying to reach were there, lots of them, we had all the data, but their day-to-day activity did not allow them spend so much time on digital platforms, so our adverts were not reaching them.
Mhm.
So it's really, really tanked. And we had to say, you know what, digital can be good. We can have presence. Let's have your presence there online and all of that. But the sales channel for this business remains absolutely offline. So that's one part of the answer I wanted to provide. So understand why it failed. You really need to go into the data to be able to see why it failed, and then be able to take dressing from there. Okay, how would you have proceeded next time? The second part of my answer is directed at how we founded Fly My Ads, right? The year was 2011, and in 2011 in Nigeria, online marketing, digital advertising was like, hey, what are you talking about? I mean, nobody understood what it was, right? So as the techie and the tech savvy guys and the digital people, I mean, we felt that it was a good opportunity to start helping businesses advertise online. So we went ahead and built a very, very nicely designed self-serve system. You know, if you wanted to advertise online in 2011 in Nigeria, you had two options. It's either you went with Facebook or you went with Google. And
Right.
at that time as well, there were a lot of payment problems. You could not pay online. You could not, it's just serious payment problems. So people who wanted to do it could not do it even if they wanted to, right? So we thought that creating our self-service platform, would help, alleviate some of those problems. And it was a fantastic solution. It was there. You could upload your adverts. We had lots of websites who were connected to our website as publishers. If you understand Google AdSense, that's essentially what we built, right? But we were still operating in a market that did not understand online advertising. Mm-hmm. So when we would go out to say, hey, let's get your ads online, we're like, huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So educator. There were not enough customers, even though we had lots of publishers who were making money off the ads that were on our website. So again, it's very tied to understanding business, not just digital marketing, because a lot of times business owners, including me at that time, we felt that digital marketing was the solution to our problems. And in reality, some of those problems was actually business understanding business as on its own, understanding that the market you're playing in has to have enough customers before you can succeed in that market. So it was a really hard lesson, but I think entrepreneurs are the most optimistic people in the world. So you always look at things and like, oh, okay, it didn't work. What's the next thing? You just go off to go build something else. So
that's a good attitude to have. You gotta have that attitude if you want to endure
Absolutely.
and survive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's awesome. The way I see it, like you said, Fly My Ads was created because of all this adversity and always looking for a constant solution, and at the end of the day, what you were doing was, you were educating those people, because that's pretty much what happened. When we enter that new frontier, the people that we're trying to attract, they have to get educated. They have to be told what's going on, and not just once, but consistently. I find that to be part of my adversities in my community, because, I advocate a lot for teachers to segue into the 21st century as niche educators, okay, but thinking that it's their own business. Create your own teacher funnel, high value education, self-paced, just provide the lesson plan, the video assisted, lesson, and create and generate, 6 figures organically. But this seems to be such a foreign concept to educators because we're so used to, but the Board of Education, I mean,
exactly.
That's not possible. And then this and that. And it's like, okay, I get it. Look, I know that it's a tough obstacle, but having to educate, having to provide the right information consistently, having to show how to do it. This is one way to do it. What you're talking about. This is why you're here today. This is one of the many ways that people need to understand that, you can create a business on the internet, make mistakes, you can learn from them, but it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. It's the 21st century. because
In
20
fact,
years from now, we're still
yeah,
going to be deeper into the digital
exactly.
era.
Exactly. So in fact, that experience of starting Fly My Ads, and it's eventually we had to shut down the self-service program because it just wasn't generating enough funds. But you see, it led to where I am today because I just basically went on Google and Facebook and started selling the services that were available there. You know, and led to all of the certifications in digital marketing. And today, I mean, we've trained over 35,000 business owners. We have a Facebook partnership in Nigeria. So I mean, sometimes those failures, they basically help you if you take them in the right perspective. Though you have to take them in the right perspective. They help guide you where you should be going. And there's no doubt about it that moving forward, we're going to be more and more digital. All types of marketing services are going to be more and more digital, and business owners out there need to realize that um, if you don't learn it now, you're going to find yourself in a situation where it's going to be either you learn it or you're going to be broke. I mean, it's just like the regular thing that you're going to do is going to be part and parcel of your business. Social and digital platforms, they're going to be part and parcel. You cannot divorce them anymore. So the best way to start is just start now. Every single day you're learning one new thing or the other, and it just gets better. It gets better as we go. Yeah.
Whether you go broke or not, hopefully you don't go broke, but there's always going to be somebody available that you can trust, like
Yeah.
Digi over here. You can't trust Digi if you need, the digital marketing strategies with Facebook. If you need
Absolutely.
some kind of ad, strategies, or anything else to help your business become successful as an online educator, you can speak with Digi. I endorse this, man. So should you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Well, Digi, so listen, it's been a pleasure having you on here. You've given a lot of good perspective in the ad world. A dollar a day is something that I wasn't prepared to hear from you, because we're used to hearing higher dollars. $10
Yeah.
budgets, but at a dollar a day, that sounds plausible. I'm a big advocate of organic,
Yeah.
because I believe that people should do the hard work and create that trust over
In
time.
fact, it's the same thing I advise all the time. You see, um, because and this is why when you start out your business, content marketing is going to be a great part of your business, whether you like it or not, whether you want to advertise or whether you want to go organically. Content is always going to be a great part of the business. So what you do is you start organically. In fact, in the first 3 months, I don't expect you to run any ads, okay? Because you want to experiment with as many different types of content: video content, written content, images, all the types of different graphic content, whatever it is, because you want to find out which of your content types is driving the most engagement with your audience. Now, when you do find out the content types that drive the most engagement, these are the content types that you can advertise. Okay, you you wouldn't get to know that until you've done organic for a few months.
Yeah.
Okay, so usually my advice is start your business organically, create content, learn to create content. Get your phone, do a Facebook live session, do an Instagram live session, get a graphic, go on Canva, do Canva designs, do infographics, do all sorts of different content, and see what works the best for you. When you find what works the best, obviously you have to go into the insights, go into the data to see what content is driving the most engagement. Then you have a blueprint to say, if I advertise this type of content, I should get this type of results. Okay, so it's the natural way to grow. You use ads, you use paid ads to amplify successful results. Otherwise, you're going to throw away a lot of money and you're going to be depressed, and you don't want that. You don't want that.
You're going to say, no, this doesn't work. I'm going back to the board of
Yeah,
education.
it doesn't work.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun doing it. It
Yeah.
should be enjoyable, especially online, because it's your own channel. You should be
Yeah.
able to do it and enjoy it. I'm a
Exactly.
big advocate about doing lives, going live. If you've been on my news feed,
Yeah, I see
I'm
a
all
lot of
about
that.
every day. I do content based on a live content, and I'd
Mm.
rather speak directly to the community instead of just posting something that's static.
Yeah.
So that's my organic way of doing it. A lot of people can do it differently, and you're right, and they should. But you got to try it. You got to get involved and
Mhm.
enjoy it. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean,
It's not.
really,
It's not.
damn
I
cool,
mean,
man.
it's your personal brand. It's a
Exactly.
personal brand. I mean, it's never been easier to be able to make money on the internet using what you know. I mean, so you have to enjoy it. You have to try it out. Yeah.
You got to take the smartphone for that.
Yeah.
That and Facebook, because Facebook Live, StreamYard, all the other
Hmm.
Google.
Hmm.
I think Microsoft has a video conferencing thing online.
Yeah.
Zoom,
Zoom.
Skype. You know,
Hmm.
so if you have some kind of media that you can connect live with, go live. I
Go
think
for
it's
it.
the best way. Why not? It's really a cool way to go.
Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right, so Benji, listen. I know you're a busy man. You got the wife, you got the family, the uncles, the parents. Everybody's waiting for you for that barbecue. Uh,
Absolutely.
really cool speaking with you. I hope, and I'm sure we will keep in touch because I like your
Absolutely.
style. If
Hmm.
there's anything else that I can contribute to your community, let me know. But you're more than
Fantastic.
welcome in mine. I
Mm.
thank you so much. Anybody has any questions,
Mm.
for Digi, write them down, put them down in the
Yeah,
comments.
put in the comment section. Yeah.
And we'll get back to you on that. Hashtag
Absolutely.
live or hashtag replay. Let us know where you're watching from. Digi, thank you so much for being here with us
Thank you
today.
so much, Gabriel.
Really
It's been fun, and I look forward to more sessions. I'm definitely going to keep in touch.
Yeah, listen, if whatever subjects that come up that you and I can have a conversation about live, let's
Great.
do it.
Absolutely.
I'm all for that. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, so from ODE, Online Digital Education Mastery, Digi is out. I'm out. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.